It seems like the world of crypto just can't stay out of the headlines lately. And now even Donald Trump is jumping back into the conversation, this time talking about buying crypto on air. Yes, you heard that right. The former US president is openly discussing using digital assets to pay off the massive national debt, and that's shaking things up across the entire crypto market. But here's where things get interesting. This video takes that discussion further, not only touching on Bitcoin, but diving deeply into XRP, the one digital asset that could actually make Trump's idea realistic. Welcome back to Hudson XRP News, the place where we break down the biggest stories shaping the future of XRP and digital finance in simple, common sense language. If you're part of the XRP family or just someone curious about where this technology is heading, you're definitely in the right place. Now, let's talk about this Trump statement because it's wild. The idea that the US government could use Bitcoin to pay off $35 trillion in national debt sounds almost unbelievable. And when you run the math, it absolutely is. The speaker in this script starts by showing how this kind of claim simply doesn't hold up under real numbers. But before jumping into the math, he introduces a clip that connects directly to XRP and the growing realization that the future of money could revolve around this digital asset. What makes this approach smart is that it immediately hooks the viewer. Trump's name brings curiosity, Bitcoin's mention brings familiarity, and XRP's inclusion brings the real story that most people don't yet understand. It's the perfect way to grab attention from both crypto newcomers and seasoned investors alike. The engagement here works on multiple levels. The speaker isn't just talking numbers, he's inviting the audience to think critically. He makes statements like, "You have to see this, and let me just do this first," which keeps viewers waiting for that next piece of information. That kind of pacing is powerful for keeping the YouTube audience engaged. It feels conversational and personal, like someone walking you through a discovery step by step. Then he smoothly transitions into talking about the XRP rich list, circulating supply, and overall token distribution. By doing this, he turns a simple political soundbite into a meaningful discussion about global finance and the future of money, which is exactly what makes content on Hudson XRP News stand out from regular crypto talk. Another clever move in this section is the mention of Reaper Finance and its creator, who is described as an intelligent builder in the XRP space. That line builds credibility and trust with the audience. It shows that the content isn't just based on hype or conspiracy, but on real projects and real people who are part of the XRP ecosystem. This is important because many viewers who are new to XRP often hear dismissive comments about it being just another coin. By bringing up professionals and actual use cases, the script naturally builds legitimacy for XRP as a serious player in financial innovation. From an analytical standpoint, this opening part does a great job of framing the conversation. It sets the tone for a comparison between Bitcoin's limitations and XRP's potential while keeping the focus on real-world applications. The Trump connection serves as a relatable entry point for mainstream audiences, while the deeper dive into XRP's fundamentals sets up the rest of the analysis perfectly. It's a smart blend of entertainment and education, something that Hudson XRP News consistently aims to deliver. The goal isn't just to inform, it's to open people's eyes to how global financial systems are evolving and why XRP could become a core part of that shift. Now, as the video moves forward, the focus begins shifting toward the heart of the discussion, Trump's comments about using Bitcoin to pay off US debt and the reality check that follows when you actually do the math. The speaker takes Trump's statement, the idea of handing out a little crypto check to erase $35 trillion in debt, and breaks it down logically. This is where the analysis becomes more than just opinion. It becomes educational. He explains that while Trump's openness toward cryptocurrency might sound exciting for the broader crypto community, the numbers behind it simply don't add up. This is exactly the kind of breakdown that resonates with the Hudson XRP News audience, people who want to understand not just the hype, but the financial truth behind what's being said on big platforms. The use of humor and simplicity in this section also works well. The way the speaker quotes Trump's words, Who knows? Maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, creates a lighthearted tone before diving into something much deeper, the reality that no amount of Bitcoin buying can mathematically make that happen. By using this balance of humor and logic, the message doesn't come off as condescending. It feels like a genuine effort to make sense of a big claim. The speaker then points out how Bitcoin, even at over $100,000 per coin, would still need an astronomical market cap to cover the US national debt. This is where the discussion really takes a professional turn. The audience gets to see the difference between hype and economic logic, which is exactly the kind of insight Hudson XRP News aims to provide. As he brings in actual numbers, things start to get more interesting. The math shows that if the United States bought 1 million Bitcoin at $103,000 each, it would cost $103 billion, a big number, but nowhere near what's needed to pay off $36 trillion in debt. From there, the speaker uses ChatGPT generated calculations to show how unrealistic the idea truly is. To make Trump's plan work, Bitcoin's price would need to reach $36 million per coin, giving it a total market cap of $756 trillion. When viewers hear that, it hits hard because they realize how disconnected these political statements can be from financial reality. It's moments like these that make viewers think critically about the broader crypto narrative and why XRP, with its real world use cases, might offer a more grounded and practical alternative. Then comes another key insight, the discussion about total global money supply. The speaker points out that there's only about $50 trillion worth of fiat currency in the world, far less than what would be required for Bitcoin to ever reach those trillion-dollar targets. This reinforces the point that Bitcoin's design, while revolutionary, is not built for large-scale financial settlement at the government level. That's a crucial distinction. Bitcoin might serve as a store of value, but it's not the kind of asset that can realistically move or balance national economies. For viewers of Hudson XRP News, this kind of comparison is exactly what builds confidence in XRP. A technology built not to store wealth, but to move it efficiently across borders. From a professional standpoint, this section delivers clarity. It's not an attack on Bitcoin or Trump, rather it's an exploration of what's possible and what's not when it comes to global finance. It exposes the mathematical flaws in the Bitcoin debt idea and sets up the stage for XRP's practical advantages. The analysis also shows the speaker's deep understanding of financial systems, giving the content both credibility and authority. He's not simply speculating, he's interpreting data, analyzing ratios, and turning raw numbers into clear insights for the audience. By the end of this part, the viewer has learned something essential, that not all cryptocurrencies are built for the same purpose, and not all political claims about them can survive real-world scrutiny. The idea that XRP might be the better alternative begins to form naturally in the viewer's mind, even before it's directly discussed. That's the power of logical storytelling backed by math. The transition from Trump's unrealistic Bitcoin scenario into XRP's potential solution is smooth, convincing, and keeps viewers watching for what's next. As the video progresses into this part, the tone becomes more analytical and thought-provoking. The speaker uses the earlier Bitcoin discussion to highlight a larger issue, the misconception people often have about cryptocurrency's role in the global financial system. This is where the script gets really interesting because it starts connecting the dots between hype and utility. He makes the point that while Bitcoin's price predictions might sound exciting, they don't necessarily represent real-world usability. This is where XRP quietly takes the spotlight, not as a hype-driven token, but as a bridge asset designed to solve actual financial problems. From Hudson XRP News's perspective, this transition is powerful because it educates viewers while keeping them engaged through contrast. The discussion about liquidity and transactional efficiency adds weight to the argument. The speaker explains that Bitcoin, due to its limited supply and slow transaction speed, cannot serve as a real-time payment mechanism for global institutions. It was never built for that purpose. Instead, it functions more like digital gold, valuable, scarce, but static. On the other hand, XRP was engineered precisely for movement, to transfer value across borders within seconds with minimal cost. That distinction is critical and perfectly aligns with the kind of content Hudson XRP News strives to share. Fact-based analysis that helps the audience understand why XRP's design fits the global financial infrastructure far better than speculative assets. Then comes a key part of the breakdown, the focus on practicality. The script emphasizes how major financial institutions aren't just looking for number go up assets. They need scalable solutions that can handle real world transactions under strict regulations. The speaker mentions that governments and banks are exploring blockchain technology not for speculation, but for settlement efficiency. This is exactly the environment XRP was built for. By explaining that XRP doesn't compete with fiat currencies but complements them, the script brings forward a unique angle that many crypto channels often miss. This helps viewers see XRP as a bridge between the old system and the new one, not a replacement, but an upgrade to global finance. The section also subtly shifts toward the growing connection between politics and crypto. Trump's statement, even though exaggerated, signals an important shift. Major world leaders are beginning to acknowledge cryptocurrency as part of the financial conversation. The speaker uses this as a springboard to talk about how XRP could fit into a government-approved ecosystem, especially once clarity around regulation improves. That's a sharp and timely observation because it ties together the technical and political aspects of XRP's potential. It reminds the audience that the future of crypto won't just be decided by market speculation, but by policy decisions and partnerships with powerful financial entities. As he continues, there's an analytical moment that stands out, the mention of liquidity corridors and on-demand liquidity, ODL. This concept, often complex for beginners, is simplified here in a way that even casual viewers can understand. The speaker explains that XRP allows banks to convert one currency into another in real time without relying on pre-funded accounts. That's huge because it solves one of the biggest inefficiencies in the global banking system, trapped capital. This explanation not only educates the viewer, but also reinforces XRP's utility in a clear and relatable way. It's the kind of content that fits the professional tone Hudson XRP News is known for. Grounded, intelligent, and easy to grasp. By the end of this section, the viewer has absorbed more than just financial numbers. They've gained perspective. They can now see the gap between Bitcoin's hype-driven expectations and XRP's practical, utility-based vision. The message is that the world doesn't need another speculative coin. It needs a system that moves money efficiently, transparently, and globally. This realization is exactly what strengthens XRP's case as the digital asset built for real-world use. The tone remains optimistic but realistic, not a sales pitch, but a professional explanation of why the future of finance might lean toward the technology Ripple has built. As the analysis continues, the narrative begins to move deeper into the global implications of XRP's role. The speaker starts linking the technical advantages of XRP to the broader picture of how global financial systems could actually benefit from adopting such a technology. He explains that XRP isn't just another crypto asset competing for price dominance. It's a part of an evolving network meant to improve cross-border payment systems, enhance liquidity, and integrate with central banks. This segment carries a professional tone because it takes the discussion away from speculation and focuses on functionality. For Hudson XRP News viewers, this is the part that bridges technical understanding with global economic relevance, exactly the type of content that builds credibility and trust with an informed audience. The discussion also dives into the evolving relationship between governments, financial institutions, and digital assets. The speaker emphasizes that for a cryptocurrency to have real staying power, it must be regulatory compliant, scalable, and interoperable with existing systems. This directly plays into XRP's biggest advantage, its alignment with financial compliance and Ripple's ongoing partnerships with major banks around the world. The script cleverly points out that while most cryptocurrencies have been battling against regulation, XRP has been working to build within it. This difference matters a lot. It demonstrates a forward-thinking strategy that aligns with how large-scale financial adoption actually happens. Viewers are reminded that no global financial network will ever rely on an asset that can't comply with international rules, and that's where XRP clearly stands out. Then the speaker draws an interesting connection to the digital transformation of finance, the rise of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. He notes how Ripple's technology has been integrated into several pilot programs for these CBDCs. This instantly gives XRP a practical link to future monetary systems. By explaining how Ripple's infrastructure could serve as the bridge for CBDCs, stablecoins, and fiat currencies to move seamlessly across borders, the message becomes clear. XRP's ecosystem could play a critical role in creating the next generation of financial connectivity. This is where the conversation takes on a visionary tone without losing credibility. For Hudson XRP News, this section highlights how XRP isn't just a cryptocurrency, it's infrastructure. A key strength of this part is how it handles comparisons between hype-driven cryptos and utility-based ones. The speaker doesn't insult Bitcoin or Ethereum, but calmly shows how each asset serves a different role. Bitcoin may be a store of value, Ethereum may be a platform for decentralized applications, but XRP serves the real-world need for global liquidity movement. This balanced tone makes the argument stronger because it's factual rather than emotional. It encourages the audience to think critically instead of reactively, which is one of the things that makes Hudson XRP News stand out from typical crypto channels. The conversation then shifts toward the market perspective. The speaker discusses how institutional investors have been slowly shifting their focus toward assets that can integrate into financial infrastructure. He explains that while meme coins and speculative tokens dominate headlines, the real progress is happening behind the scenes, in corridors where efficiency, cost reduction, and compliance are the main priorities. XRP fits perfectly in that environment. Its speed, scalability, and low cost make it ideal for settling transactions between major currencies. This helps the audience understand why XRP's true value may not be fully reflected in its price today, but could emerge when global financial systems begin adopting this technology on a larger scale. Finally, this part begins to build anticipation for the closing argument. It lays the foundation for what's coming next by reinforcing the idea that XRP isn't just a cryptocurrency, it's a bridge technology ready to operate within a regulated and modernized financial landscape. The speaker hints that while the current market may not fully appreciate this yet, the coming years, especially as regulations become clearer, could finally unlock XRP's potential. This transition naturally sets the stage for the final part, where the long-term vision, future outlook, and concluding thoughts about XRP's position in the evolving global economy are expected to come together. As the analysis reaches its conclusion, the tone becomes both reflective and forward-looking. The speaker now brings all the earlier points together: the hype surrounding Trump's Bitcoin comments, the unrealistic debt payment scenario, the clear differences between speculation and utility, and XRP's position as a genuine technological solution in global finance. This final section carries a sense of clarity and maturity. Instead of feeding into market excitement or short-term predictions, it focuses on the long-term transformation of financial systems and how XRP could quietly become one of the foundational pieces behind that change. For Hudson XRP News viewers, this ending reinforces exactly what the channel stands for: logical, fact-based, and professional analysis that goes beyond surface-level crypto talk. The speaker revisits the comparison between Bitcoin's speculative potential and XRP's real-world function. He emphasizes that while Bitcoin may continue to capture headlines due to its price swings and scarcity-driven appeal, XRP's value lies in its ability to make the financial system run more efficiently. The audience is reminded that XRP's strength has always been in utility, moving liquidity, lowering transaction costs, and solving real problems for banks, payment providers, and even governments. This closing argument paints XRP as not just a cryptocurrency, but a key component of a more connected and digital future economy. It's a reminder that utility always outlasts hype, and that's where XRP's story continues to build momentum. Another strong point in this part is how the speaker connects current market events to XRP's future trajectory. He points out that as regulatory frameworks tighten across major economies, the cryptos that can operate within those frameworks will rise to the top. XRP's history with the SEC case, though challenging, has actually strengthened its position. It forced Ripple to prove its compliance, clarify its purpose, and solidify its legal standing, something most other projects haven't done yet. This context allows viewers to see the bigger picture. While others are still debating what crypto should be, XRP is already evolving into what crypto must become to survive long term, compliant, scalable, and practical. Then comes a visionary touch. The idea that XRP's true impact won't be seen in headlines or sudden price pumps, but in the quiet integration of its technology into systems that move trillions of dollars daily. The speaker paints a vivid picture of what the financial world might look like once CBDCs, stablecoins, and cross-border systems all operate on interoperable networks powered by XRP's ledger technology. Imagine a future where remittances, corporate settlements, and even government payments happen within seconds instead of days with minimal fees and full transparency. That's the transformation Ripple has been building toward, and it's a future that feels increasingly realistic as the global financial system modernizes. From an analytical standpoint, the closing remarks do a brilliant job of giving the audience both a reality check and a reason for optimism. The speaker avoids giving unrealistic predictions, but makes it clear that XRP's long-term outlook remains strong. The focus on fundamentals, speed, liquidity, compliance, and interoperability positions XRP as a project built for endurance rather than speculation. This realistic but confident tone gives the audience a sense of assurance that aligns perfectly with Hudson XRP News' professional brand. It's the kind of conclusion that leaves viewers more informed and more confident in their understanding of XRP's place in the financial world. The final moments of the script also serve as a gentle call to reflection rather than hype. Viewers are encouraged to think about where global finance is headed and which digital assets truly have the infrastructure to support that journey. The takeaway is clear. While political comments and market predictions may come and go, the real revolution is happening quietly within technologies like XRP. The video ends on a strong note, reminding everyone that the digital financial transformation isn't about overnight riches, but about long-term adoption, regulation, and innovation that will shape the future of money. This closing part perfectly wraps up the analysis with the balance of logic and inspiration that defines Hudson XRP News. It brings every earlier discussion, from Trump's statement to global liquidity systems, into a complete circle. The viewers are left with both understanding and curiosity, wanting to learn more about what's next for XRP and how close we might be to seeing its full potential realized. The delivery is clear, confident, and realistic, exactly how a professional XRP focused channel should end a video that's meant to inform and empower its audience.